Out these voodoo drinks. I think they work like voodoo, y'all. The fat will literally begin to vanish from your body. Like I'm telling you, like you will be like, how is this happening? So I'm gonna give y'all several type of drinks that will literally guarantee that you lose weight. Okay, guaranteed. The fat will literally vanish. When I tell you that you will wake up tomorrow feeling like some of the fat is out your body, like within a week time, you're gonna definitely feel like something took the fat from your body. Okay, you're going to feel like that, guaranteed. So I'm going to give you what I've been doing. This is going to sound, this is going to sound like it's not going to work, but it does work. Okay, we're going to try to wait till we get more people in here, but I guess I'll begin showing y'all what I'm doing. So you're going to get, I hope the YouTube TV is not still connected. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna pause the video for a moment. Don't go nowhere, y'all. Pause the video. Well, I don't think it's connected, but I'm here. So you're gonna get something like this, okay, which is like 3 cups. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 cups. So you're gonna have 2 of these a day. That's 6 cups. 6 cups. So you're gonna put water in there. Okay, this is the first type of drink you can have. You're gonna have this within the first hour of work before you even eat any food. Okay, that's the thing. Before you eat any food, you're gonna have one of these type of drinks. So you're gonna have something like this, which is 3 cups. You want to drink at least this much in the morning and afternoon, and this much in the afternoon and evening. You should have drank 2 of these, which is 6 cups. By the time you go to bed, you should have drank 2 of these. Okay, y'all, my allergies are acting up. So you're gonna put a cup of this in here. Okay, I already been drinking it, so you're gonna have a cup of this. You're gonna pour, I'm sorry, a bottle, at least a bottle, but you really want to try to fill it up. Okay. See, it fills it up. See, it filled it up. I did have some tea in there already. So now you can do this by first heating up the water and using tea, lemon ginger tea, and then putting the water in there. Or you can just go with plain spring water. Next, you're going to get a lemon. Okay. Now you can actually boil the lemon in water and then pour the water in there. So you can fill this up halfway, boil a lemon in a cup of water, and then strain it and put the water, the lemon water, the rest of the way in the container. You can do it that way. Or you can simply cut up the lemon, squeeze it in the water that you already have. Okay. Next is you're going to put at least, for me, I always put a teaspoon. I don't really put a tablespoon. So it's up to you. Teaspoon or a tablespoon of ginger in here. Okay, you can use regular ginger powder if you're on a budget. Regular ginger powder. Teaspoon to a tablespoon in there. Next, you are going to put a dash. Not a lot of cinnamon. Cinnamon goes a long way. So you're going to just put a little bit of cinnamon in there. All right. Next, you're going to put a little bit of Himalayan pink salt. Less than a teaspoon, no more than a teaspoon in there. Okay. Next, you're going to put electrolyte powder in there. There's a little scooper that comes in a jar you can use. Okay. You're going to use the scooper and put 1 scoop of electrolyte powder in there. Okay. Now, if you want it to be sweet, you can put some allulose plant-based sugar in there. Only allulose plant-based. Okay? No powdered sugar, no honey. Next, this is optional. You can put a cap of whiskey in there. A cap of whiskey in the drink. That's if you're a whiskey drinker. That is optional. Now, the thing you don't want to forget to put in there is the baking soda. This is very important. Okay, so you're going to put at least a teaspoon of baking soda in the water. Now you're going to stir all that up. It's going to taste a little medicinal, but you'll get used to it. Now, if you don't mind the taste of apple cider vinegar, then you're going to put a small cap full of apple cider vinegar in there. Okay. All right. So that's the first recipe. The second recipe you can do is, we're going to start all over. This is the second recipe. Fill it up with one bottle, equal 3 cups. You're going to get you some natural flavored tea drink mix like this. Now, we're being thrifty here, y'all. This is a thrifty version. This is going to add some sweetness to it, but you want to get the one that says lemon. See how it says natural, all natural, but you see it's like a lemon flavored, like lemonade. So you're going to put the right measurements. It's all up to you on how sweet you want it to be. Okay? But remember that that's at least 100 calories. So you don't have to worry about the sugar. The sugar's not going to stop you from losing weight because it's only 22 grams per serving size, 2 tablespoons. So you're going to put 2 tablespoons in there. Okay? 2 tablespoons. Sugar does not block you from losing weight. It's the sugar with the high fat at the same time, which we're going to get into in a minute. So you'll put your 2 tablespoons of sugar in the water. Now you're still going to put the teaspoon of baking soda in there. You're still going to put a teaspoon of ginger in there. Now this is optional. If you don't want to use the tea, you can actually get you a lemon pepper seasoning and put a little bit in the water. So this is the third recipe. The third recipe, fill this up with water. This here up with water. You're going to put like a teaspoon or less than a teaspoon, a half a teaspoon of the lemon pepper seasoning spice in there. Okay, it should be real. You should be able to read it and it say black pepper, onion, lemon. See how it says all that? Okay, natural flavor. So you're going to put like a teaspoon or a half a teaspoon of that in the water. This is the third recipe. Now, you're still going to put the teaspoon, at least a teaspoon of baking soda in there, and at least a teaspoon of ginger in there. Okay? Now, it's optional to put the electrolyte water in there. So I gave y'all 3 recipes. Y'all just going to have to replay the video. Now, what you're going to do is drink one of these twice a day. You're going to drink at least a cup of this before every meal. So before your breakfast meal, and you're going to eat your breakfast maybe 30 minutes after. Don't eat it right after, okay? So you're going to have a cup of this, and then maybe 30 minutes later, 30, 40 minutes later, you're going to say, I'm going to have my breakfast. You're going to notice that you're not that hungry. You're going to be like, I ain't that hungry. Okay. So your breakfast meal needs to be low fat. Okay. Do not raise the fat. Do not raise the fat. So your breakfast meal is going to be low fat. You have to stop eating grains by lunchtime. So if you're going to get 45 to 80 grams of carbs from grains in your diet, you have to be done by lunch. No grains after lunch. None. Okay? And you want those carbs to stay under 100. If you're getting them from potatoes, pasta, oatmeal, okay? Under 100 of carbs. By lunchtime, you can't have no more pasta. You can't have no more grains. You're done for today. You're done. So lunch comes. What do you have? Your lunch has to be more like a pescatarian. So if you're a fish eater, you're better off having fish and salad with another cup. You're going to have a second cup before your lunch. Remember, 30 minutes before each meal, you're having a cup of this. Okay. So your lunch needs to have, as I said, no grains, no pasta, no high carbs. You can have things with carb in it like green beans, a cup of green beans, beets, a little bit of beets, something like that, or a little bit of carrots. But you will not crank up the carbs anymore. Okay, you only get to crank up your carbs until lunchtime. You should be eating a lower amount of carbs come lunch. So, in between lunch and dinner, you can have plant-based stuff. You can snack on leafy stuff. You can snack on some celery. You can, keep it leafy. More, if it's leafy, that's better. Or you can have low-calorie fruit as a snack. Berries, strawberries, whatever. You can have that. All right. You're going to find that dinner is almost like optional. Because you're at least 3 cups of this. I recommend that you try to get the 3 cups of this in before 3 p.m. So 3 cups of this before 3 p.m., 3 cups of this after 3 p.m. So from morning to 3 p.m., 3 cups. From 3 p.m. to bedtime, 3 cups. So basically, you're going to end up having a cup also. Your last cup is going to be between like 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. You're going to have one more cup. Okay. Now, your next 3 cups are going to be between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. So remember, you always want to have a cup before an actual meal. 30 minutes before. Let the drink sit in your stomach for a while. Don't have the food right after. Now, you can also have your last cup after dinner. So you can have a cup 30 minutes before dinner and a cup 30 minutes after dinner. When I tell y'all that my stomach is going down so fast, it feels like voodoo. I'm telling y'all no lie that I'm like, wait a minute, like this is happening fast. I checked the scale, less than 2.5 weeks. No, I'm like 12 pounds down. And I've been drinking this almost every day. Even on the 2 days I took a break and didn't drink it, I still lost weight because my cravings were gone. What these drinks do is they give you energy, detox you, and they get rid of any cravings. They regulate your insulin levels. They also seem to speed up metabolism and fat burning. So there you have it. You have 3 different recipes. I'm telling y'all, they work. Okay. Had I had known about these, came up with these upgraded versions of the detox drinks, had I had did this sooner, I would probably be one real skinny female this winter. But it is what it is, y'all. I told y'all I had a reaction to the medication and it slowed down my metabolism and I put on weight. So I came out with these 3 type of drinks. Now, y'all have heard the first drink with the baking soda and the ginger and the lemon and the water. Okay. But what y'all don't know is that you do not have to use plain water. You can actually use a natural based tea, even if there's sugar in it, because you're keeping your fat low. You're not going to crave. Sugar doesn't make you crave. What makes you crave is the mixture of fat and sugar. Since you have no fat in this drink and your breakfast is low fat, you're not going to have no cravings. So you can use this as your drink. Okay. Sugar, believe it or not, it helps you actually burn calories, like Dorian Ryder say. Okay, so you're keeping your fat low, and you can have some sugar in the drink. So you can say, I don't want plain water. I don't want tea. I'm tired of drinking tea water. You can say, I'm gonna get me some sweet tea. All right. If you look at some old Southern videos when they were drinking sweet tea, the women from the South in the old days, they still had small waists and they was drinking sweet tea. So with this version of it is actually just a upgraded version of this weight loss drink, but adding the sweet tea to it instead of plain water. As I said, this is option one. Now, you can still add the electrolyte powder. You can still add it if you want. And you can still add a little bit of Himalayan pink salt. You still can. So these are two options you can include in this drink. In the first recipe, as I said. If you're a whiskey drinker, you can actually add a half a shot of whiskey to it. So let me show y'all the one I'm doing right now for the last half of my day. I'm going to add a little bit of dash. I don't want to... Lemons are expensive, so you may want to switch between the spice and the lemon. So we're going to just put a little bit in there. A little bit of the spice in there. It's not coming out. Okay. So this is pretty much less than a teaspoon. Doesn't look. Remember, spice goes a long way, so you don't have to add a lot of spice when you have it in spice form. Okay. So I have the spice in there. Now I'm going to add a dash of baking soda. Remember, in the old days, they didn't really use spoons. They kind of measured with their eyes. So that's like a teaspoon, almost a teaspoon of baking soda. Okay. My allergies is acting up because the ragweed is almost finished dying here. So a little dash of ginger in there. I got my ginger. Okay. This is going to be my my afternoon and evening one before bed. So I'm going to add me a shot of whiskey. Shot of whiskey here. See, I'm using the actual cap. There, a half a shot. All right. Now I'm going to take actually turmeric. I'm going to take this turmeric here. Turmeric vitamin. All right. So I'm going to taste it to make sure I can taste the spice. I can taste some of it. Okay. It's not too much. That wasn't too much. Now I can always add a tiny dash of Himalayan pink salt. A dash of it. We're dashing, y'all. People don't know that a dash goes a long way. A lot of people are all like tablespoons and stuff. You don't really need all that. Okay? If you're drinking this through your day, you don't need such heavy measurements. Okay? So it's going to taste medicinal. It is a medicinal drink, but it's good for you. It's good for keeping your stomach detox so that you will lose weight. All right. Notice I'm doing dashing. The reason why I do dashes is so that you don't spike blood pressure. You don't want your blood pressure high. If you're at risk of having high blood pressure when you're using spices and seasonings and all that type of stuff when you're trying to lose weight. So you're better off decreasing the amount. So if it's a teaspoon, you probably should put a half a teaspoon in. Only thing you can probably have in a higher amount would be an actual lemon itself. But when you get into adding spices and things like that, you should probably have half a teaspoon so that you don't spike your blood pressure. Okay? Now, you can also you can still take your vitamin, like a prenatal vitamin, so that you can get enough vitamins in you between meals. Now, what I found out is when you're trying to lose weight and you're drinking these type of drinks, you will preserve fat, even if having 60 grams of protein. So in the old days, they didn't have more than 60 grams of protein, believe it or not. So you don't want to go under 60 grams of protein a day. You want to have at least 60 grams of protein from actual meat or plant-based foods. So you don't want to overdo it with the protein, because it will be no different when it's broken down in your body. It will be no different than raising your insulin levels. Okay, it will be no different than eating a bunch of sugar. So make sure that you're keeping your protein between, I would say, 60 and 90 grams. Like if you go like 100, you're going to notice that like your body wants you to work out and lift weights and stuff. And then that's going to make you want to eat again. See what I'm saying? So you may be burning off the food through working out, but what about your insulin? Okay? What about your heart health? So heart health is important for weight loss. So what you're trying to do is make sure you don't raise your blood pressure, you don't raise your sugar levels too high, and you're not craving extra food. So the workouts you're going to do are going to be aerobics and yoga and Tai Chi. If you're doing any body weight time under tension exercises, you need to do them briefly, like no more than 10 minutes. Otherwise, you're going to burn through the energy that the burst of energy that you're getting from these drinks. You're going to burn through it too much, and then you're going to want food, extra food. So keep your intense workouts to very, very short. Okay, 10 minutes. But you can do Tai Chi for 30 minutes, and yoga and swimming and Tai Chi walking. You can do that for longer. Okay? The 10-minute body weight time under tension exercises is just to keep you firming up as you're losing the weight, so you stay firm. So I gave y'all recipes. Now here's the thing. If you cannot sleep, you need to get you an actual sleep aid. So they make it, you can get it Equate. It's called Equate, or you can get it as a syrup. So don't sit up there and be like, try to fight to go to sleep. Like get you some melatonin or get you a sleep aid, take it and go to sleep. This is the realest talk. The earlier you can go to sleep, the better. So by 9 o'clock, be like, I have to go to sleep. That's like, I cannot be up after 10. So several days a week, be in bed by 9. And if you can't go to sleep and you don't want to take anything over the counter, go to your doctor and have them give you a sleep aid. This way, what is that noise? This way you start to lose weight. Hold on, y'all. Flicky. Flick. Yeah, don't mess with that butt. I love you too. Hi, baby. I love you. Thank you. So, the turmeric is also really good for losing weight. Okay? So you might want to get turmeric for your joints and bones and heart health, see? So consider taking turmeric and arginine when you're doing this. If you're over 40 and you're a woman, you might want to take MSM vitamins. So I'm taking turmeric. I'm taking a multiple vitamins. I'm taking MSM, iron, 1 a day for women, turmeric, and arginine almost every single day. Arginine will definitely start to keep you firm. Arginine will keep you from looking flabby as you're losing weight. So that's why arginine is like really important to take on when you're trying to lose weight. Okay, so if you want to watch this video